guys gonna get me a beer?
Yeah.
Where? Who's gonna buy them? Who's gonna buy them?
I'm gonna buy it.
You're gonna buy them?
Here we go, Spider. It's your own place for the evening. Spider raises, I think, in anyone who meets him, the question of inherent human dignity. If one believes that life is sacred and that human life is to be valued above all else, then it's difficult to justify any system or any state of affairs that would allow a human to live and suffer in the way that Spider does each day. His situation is so deplorable that it cries out for response from the community. So listen, Spider, here's the deal though. You can't urinate on the floor, otherwise they'll kick you out. Okay?
That's okay.
Okay?
No,
and
I got
there's-
that.
You see here, there's a bar by the toilet. I'm going to put the seat up right now for you, okay? So you need to use it. Woo! This is nice. Do you need to use the toilet right now?
No.
Okay. All right. So here, why don't you come out here?
And that's it. I need a couple beers.
And look at this bed.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
It is beautiful. Can I take a picture of you?
Spider is one of the most, I think, he looks like one of the most helpless, homeless people anybody will ever see in any American city.
I feel like as a society, we're not taking care of Spider, and there's no good, he doesn't want to be in the situation that he's in, but yet no one's able to take or willing to take ownership of him. And so what's hard is that there's really no place for him to go, which is horrible.
Now, you can murder someone and we'll incarcerate you and make sure that you have food and medical care and shelter. But if you're just someone like Spider or the 20,000 other folks who end up homeless over the course of a year, in part because you struggle to make some of these decisions, and some of that may be based on abuse or whatever. There are 1,000 different reasons. Then, as a society, we have said, you don't deserve to have shelter.
I've been out here for 29 years. Tell me something I don't know, girl. Can they take care of me? No. I live in filth. I live in my own feces. I live in my own urine, or on my own urine. I don't care. Life is only what you make it, and I made it. I don't care what people does. That's on them.
My name is Joe Rodriguez. I'm a reporter and columnist for the San Jose Mercury News.
I'm Todd Madigan, the Director of Development and Communications at Sacred Heart Community Service.
My name is Cheryl Ho. I work at the Valley Homeless Healthcare Program, which is part of the Santa Clara Valley Health and Hospital System in San Jose, California.
So if you were to go to the corner of Market and Santa Clara in downtown San Jose on any given evening, you would see Spider laying in an alcove of an abandoned, I think it's a bank actually. Because he dismounts from his wheelchair and lays there, but continues to consume large amounts of alcohol, he has to use the facilities, but he doesn't go anywhere to use the facilities. He has a glass that he keeps, or a paper cup, and he'll, lying on his side, will urinate in this cup periodically and then just splash it wherever. And frequently it's up against one of the walls of the alcove, and it hits the wall, runs down the wall onto the cement where he's lying, and then will pool on his blanket that he's laying in or under. Around him, because he defecates on himself, if he has access to diapers, adult diapers, sometimes he'll wear those. Otherwise, he will use a plastic garbage bag that he will either just sit on or occasionally even put his legs through the handles like a diaper.
He spends most of his days sitting in his wheelchair, panhandling outside of the cathedral or somewhere in downtown San Jose.
He had very, what they call atrophied legs, so his legs look kind of like toothpicky in the sense they're not legs that are used to sort of walking and have muscles on them in that sense that most people when they walk have.
The thing I'm busy at is sitting in that thing. Because I'm going blind. And I'll tell you the truth. I'm going blind. My right eye's already gone.
Yeah.
Because of my cataract. If I get hit, I get hit. Big deal. No big thing.
He is usually pretty cantankerous, although he balances that with a sense of humor, and is someone who's clearly and admittedly in a lot of pain, both physically and emotionally.
Like, you take a look at these people going up and down the street. You say hello to them. Are they going to answer? Hell no. They will believe in that money. Money is not a luxury. Money is only a necessity. They come up here from San Pedro or San Pedro Square. All they do is just sit there and look at you, and you're looking like a freak. Okay, I'm a freak. Okay, that's good enough for me. They got their noses up there in the air. I'm down here in the gutter.
Spider, a long time ago, maybe 30 years ago, became homeless. And when I've talked to him about why that was, he references an event, something that he did, and he's confided that to, I think, probably a couple of people, but something that he did that he felt was so grievous that he deserved punishment. And in the moments of clarity that he has, when you're talking to him, he really describes his current state as justified punishment for that particular act that he's committed.
I know that he has the difficult diagnosis of alcohol dependence. Addiction is characterized by loss of control over behavior, whereas dependence, they can coexist, but dependence means that there's a physical dependence in it. You may or may not. So as an example, someone who's on chronic methadone, they may have been an injection drug user in the past, but now they're dependent on methadone, but it doesn't mean they're addicted to methadone. So there is a distinction at times. But in Spider's case, I do believe that he does have an addiction to alcohol, and he's physically dependent on it as well.
So Spider is very regular with his alcohol consumption. He has 4, the larger, the 16 or 20 ounce cans of Budweiser, and he has at least that every day.
He has a history of sabotaging every attempt to help him. And yet he's not crazy. He's not one of the mentally ill.
He's actually very, if I were to describe him, very pleasant, very engaging. He's somebody who is always just trying to make a joke and try to make you laugh.
Okay. It's this one. Why did the chicken go to the other side of the road?
Why?
Because he wanted to get there. Okay. Somebody asked me one time, he says, how come you climbed that mountain? I says, because it was there. See what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
And he's completely harmless. You know, when he asks for money on the streets, he's very, very polite. He's got a sparkle in his eye, you know, and a smile. Even though he smells and looks like hell, I think his charm, his niceness comes out, and people are attracted to him.
I think just someone who just really, a very caring individual is kind of how I'd like to describe him.
Well, homelessness is a problem here in San Jose, and this is one of the wealthiest cities in the world. Yet we have this homeless problem. And most of the homeless here have really deep personal problems. They are either chronically mentally ill, or they're alcoholics, or drug abusers, or all of the above, which makes it really hard for them to find housing, public housing, because these days in public housing, you have to be squeaky clean, and as soon as you break the rules, they throw you out.
We're having a hard time getting the medical community or the psychiatric community. I don't even know that it's their fault, but we're having a hard time getting people to sort of wrap around and bring him the level of services that he needs.
It's been terribly difficult working with Spider, and terribly frustrating because of the lack of housing options for him. With the combination of his alcoholism, where if he goes to a board and care facility, they generally have very strict regulations regarding the consumption of alcohol, and because he needs that physically, because he's physically dependent, that doesn't work. We tried it, we got him in, he stayed for one night, and he was drinking while on the premises.